The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world. Since the last opportunity, we had to spend a little time with you and yours. We start today's show talking about Louisiana news, and there is good news for our fellow Louisianians, so very many adversely affected by Hurricane Ida. Governor John Bel Edwards announcing recently that the state of Louisiana, along with the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, is opening the Hurricane Ida Sheltering Program. It is designed to provide temporary housing like FEMA trailers, travel trailers, for folks heavily impacted by the storm. The governor announcing in a statement, quote, "There is no doubt that there are people currently living in unsafe or unsanitary housing because of Hurricane Ida, which is not acceptable. Housing is the biggest challenge facing those affected by this devastating storm, and our state-run sheltering program is a safe, creative, temporary solution to get people closer to their homes as they rebuild. I'm grateful to FEMA's flexibility in working with us to purchase travel trailers as an interim solution to help survivors while other efforts, including work by FEMA, are ongoing." You may have noticed last week, Congress and the White House approved billions of dollars in federal community development block grant funding for Louisiana and other states to address the damage caused by recent storms. The governor went on to say, in Louisiana, we intend to direct much of our share of the funding to housing recovery for people affected by Hurricanes Laura, Delta, Zeta, and Ida. Now, for those of you that fall into the category and have been awaiting news of this sort, you can begin registering for the program by going to the website IdaShelteringLA.com. That's IdaShelteringLA.com. Or, if you got a pencil handy, you can call 844-268-0301. That's 844-268-0301. Hopefully, all of you that are in dire need of housing will take advantage of the program, and hopefully it will provide you some much needed relief in the near future. Speaking of much needed relief, If you have driven in Baton Rouge traffic, particularly on the interstate system, anytime in the recent past, you know that traffic is an absolute nightmare. And it's not going to get any time better anytime soon. 2023 is the expected start date for the widening of I-10 from LA 415 out past the 10-12 split. It is a process that is going to take a considerable amount of time. And got to tip my hat to the folks at DOTD and state government. They are trying to get ahead of this, understanding what the construction is going to do to traffic while it is ongoing. I mean, if you think traffic is bad now, think about what's going to happen to traffic while you have all this construction in what is arguably the worst bottleneck in the entire length and breadth of the United States of America, while this construction is ongoing, and you start to realize just how bad this potentially could be. So as a result, the state is entertaining now, putting into reality a plan for state workers to go to a 4-day work week. 10 hours a day for 4 days with staggered start and stop times in an effort to try and lower the amount of volume on the interstate. It is one of those instances that are too far and few between where we see government trying to get ahead of a potential problem. So I got to give a semi tip of the hat in that regard. I say semi because unless and until we make some meaningful progress on getting another route across bypass the Mississippi River, it will be akin to putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. All it takes, even after the widening of I-10, all it will take is one idiot texting and driving, one idiot tailgating, one idiot not using a signal light to change lanes, one idiot breaking the established rules of the road, and the entire city grinds to a halt, due pretty much exclusively to the fact that there's no other way to get around this bottleneck in Baton Rouge. Now listen, I understand a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I get it. Problem is we're about 6 million steps behind before we take the first step. But I guess in hindsight, you know, all things being equal, it could take a whole lot longer. So hopefully this process will be mitigated to whatever degree. And aside from state workers, I'm hoping that private businesses that can afford to do so will take a lead from state government in this regard, allowing more folks to continue to work at home, staggering report to work and leave work times so that we can keep the traffic volume at a manageable level. Again, it is something that is so sorely needed. And at the end of the day, we can sit around and gripe and moan and complain about how this debacle ever managed to come to fruition to begin with. I personally am still of the opinion whoever it was that designed the bridge and the connecting routes with that should be tarred and feathered, but that's a different show for a different day. It is very telling that it's taken us this long to entertain the idea, much less get the idea started. But it is what it is, and we have to deal with that. Hopefully, enough people will realize with this ongoing construction, the amount of time that it's going to take, we don't need to have the same volume of vehicles on the interstate system. If not, when we find ourselves moaning, complaining, griping even more, we won't have anyone to blame but ourselves. Finally, Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center announcing this week that they will be building a brand new $100 million cancer treatment center here in the capital region. It was announced yesterday, plans to build a new freestanding 80,000 square foot facility on the OLOL campus. The groundbreaking for the building is set for 2022. It is something that is sorely needed. Any of you watching right now that have had individuals in your family, loved ones, co-workers, what have you, that find themselves facing a cancer diagnosis, it is almost automatic that we start looking for facilities outside the state of Louisiana to treat us. For a state that is located squarely in Cancer Alley, that should not be acceptable. We as Louisianians suffer disproportionate amounts of cancer, and it's only right that we have a world-class facility right here in our area to deal with diagnoses like this. It is a step in the right direction. Personally, I would like to see, in addition to this, either government, the private sector, or some combination of the two, combining resources to start a concerted campaign to defeat cancer before it gets to this point. The only thing better, my humble opinion only, the only thing better than having a world-class cancer treatment facility is having a concerted effort to protect our citizens from cancer. It's one thing to treat the disease, it's something else entirely for us to go out of our way to stop Louisianians from ever getting cancer. Just saying. Just saying. We are coming up on our first break of today's show. It is, of course, Tuesday, and it is the second segment after this commercial break. So you know what that means, right? Yep, it's time. Another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's up next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on AIRLINE.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with MANDA Fine Meats. Here at MANDA, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. MANDA Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. MANDA Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it MANDA every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. If you are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, you may not be aware that in response to the ever-growing, rapidly expanding level of stupidity in this country, we have instituted a new segment that is entitled, "Now That's Just Stupid." Now keep in mind, we are not talking about the traditional STUPID. That would be ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill, stupid. We're talking STOOPID, stupid, an entirely different level of stupid. We start in New York City. Marty, hit it. New York City, get a rope. 22-year-old New York City man. And you've, in recent memory, you've seen all across the country, but particularly in larger cities, San Francisco, LA, New York, cities of that magnitude, retail theft exploding, where people just walk into a store with a garbage bag, a duffel bag, loaded up with stuff, and walk out the door. And of course, with the whole defund the police thing, the whole judicial reform, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. 22-year-old Isaac Rodriguez of New York City has been arrested 57 times so far this year, including 46 arrests for retail theft and another for stabbing a person. Apparently, Isaac Rodriguez enjoys robbing one particular store more than others, Walgreens. This guy has shoplifted, been caught, and arrested 37 times at Walgreens. One store in particular, the Walgreens in Jackson Heights, he's shoplifted, been caught, and arrested 23 times. For whatever reason, and I think I know what the reason is, this guy is what they call a booster. He goes in, steals certain items, then for a percentage or a fee, gives it to someone who resells it out on the open market. He has shoplifted Ensure, which is nutrition supplement drink, Walgreen sanitary wipes, Sensodyne toothpaste, and Cetaphil lotion. According to the manager at the Walgreens, quote, "This guy comes here every day, stealing, every single day. He comes in and he steals. We call 911 and make a report, and that's it. Our company policy is if anyone comes because of a safety issue, we cannot stop him. We can't do anything." Yet another Democrat-controlled city. If you are considering moving to New York City, well, you, my friend, are just stupid. Secondly, our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. COVID-19 is all the rage. The media, CDC, other folks have everybody scared to death of COVID-19. Well, in our nation's capital, last month, nearly twice as many people were murdered than died from COVID-19. In our nation's capital, last month, 42 people died from COVID-19. 77 people died from homicide. Now, I don't know about you, but I like to keep things in perspective. This is our nation's capital, for God's sake. So I guess in hindsight, I really shouldn't be all that surprised about what's happening in Democrat-controlled cities when you look at our nation's capital. And ironically, these folk are pushing for statehood. 7 people shy of twice the number of COVID deaths are attributed to homicide. And I know what a lot of my fellow conservative brethren are saying right now. Well, Clarence, they said 42 died from COVID, but how many of them actually only died with COVID? Just saying, just an observation. Finally, speaking of, now that's just stupid, it has become in recent memory, and this is not just recent memory, this goes back quite some time, how our tax dollars are spent. I forget exactly when it was, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, someone coined the phrase, being addicted to opium. Not the narcotic opium, but OPM, opium, other people's money. All you have to do is look particularly at the federal government to see how wasteful these individuals are with our money. I mean, you go back to the Pentagon spending $640 for a toilet seat, $300 for a screwdriver, you know, things of that nature. And if you were hoping that it was going to get better anytime soon, well, my friend, you kind of automatically fall into the category of being stupid. Recently, when individuals were voicing concern about what the federal government is spending, particularly in the advent of this current administration, a lot of folks start saying, wait a minute. You keep spending this kind of money we don't have, inflation's going to run rampant, And of course, we're going to increase the national debt to a point that is totally unsustainable. And of course, all of these were valid concerns. So this past weekend, the chairman of the House Budget Committee in Washington, D.C., and you know where this is going, was quizzed about, do you think our country can afford this just totally out of control spending that's going on? I mean, after all, somebody's going to have to pay this money back. You know what this clown said? Well, the federal government can afford anything it wants to do. Oh, really? Huh. The federal government can afford anything it wants to do. See, this is what happens when you vote for people based solely on the letter that is behind their name. This is what happens when you elect individuals that are of the opinion they've been appointed to rule and not elected to serve. This is what happens when you become addicted to other people's money. And this clown is the head of the Budget Committee. Just when you thought we couldn't get any more stupid, all you have to do is turn your eyes to the federal government and Washington, D.C. Now, these folks are who they are, and they do what they do. I get it. But what is more disheartening to me is that we allow this kind of crap to continue. You know, at some point, if you know anything about a pressure cooker, if you don't have a release valve when that pressure builds up, you're going to have a problem. And I am sorely afraid that we are reaching a tipping point, y'all. And the American public sits idly by, quietly, while all this is happening. At some point, the pushback is going to come. And when it happens, in the vernacular of the streets, it ain't going to be nothing nice. And sadly, you and I, we Americans, will have no one to blame but ourselves. Bottom of the hour break. When we come back, I want to speak to my fellow Americans of color. Once again, we have proof positive that Democrats don't care about black folk, in case you didn't know already. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, if you were with us last week, you may remember me making the statement, I have come to the conclusion that the difference, well, one of the main differences between liberals and conservatives is that liberals want you to be black. Conservatives want you to be an American. When you allow liberals to pigeonhole you into first and foremost being black instead of being an American, you open the door for all sorts of nefarious things to happen to your well-being. It's amazing to me how liberals who claim to be able to smell racism from 100 miles away continually ignore the things that affect people of color most. It's part and parcel to the old, ooh, look over here, see, while ignoring the real problem. This week, it was announced that in the city of Chicago, in just a 2-month span, 1,606 people were shot, 261 dying. Now, this is just a 2-month span, mind you. So far, this year, and this, by the way, is according to CNN, LOL, the bastion of liberalism. So far this year, 2,991 people have been shot. 622 have died. So, in typical liberal Democrat fashion, you can't make this stuff up. You know what the city's most recent response has been in Chicago? Y'all gonna think, oh, Clarence has lost his mind. He making up stuff to lie to us about Chicago. You know what the city of Chicago's most recent response to try and curtail the blood running in the streets of Chicago? Aside from Lori Lightfoot blaming the guns The city of Chicago has installed in various places around the city what are called, quote, bleeding kits. I chuckle to stop from saying what I really feel and losing my job. These bleeding kits that the city of Chicago is placed around the city includes for gunshot victims a tourniquet, gauze, shears, gloves, and, wait for it, an instruction manual on how best to use it. You know, you have to really try to be that stupid. You can't just be this freaking stupid by accident. You have to go out of your way to be this freaking stupid. So let's see. City of Chicago, almost 3,000 people shot, closing in on 700, and we hadn't hit the holiday season yet. Close to 700 homicides. And, oh, it'd be a good idea. Let's put up some bleeding kits. Gloves, gauze, shears, a tourniquet, and an instruction manual on how to best use it. These clowns didn't think far enough to realize, you know, with the state of public education in the city of Chicago, half of these fools aren't going to be able to read the freaking instruction manual. Better be sure they got lots of pictures in it. Really? Meanwhile, more proof positive that Democrats don't give a you fill in the blank here about black folks. Remember, just before last year's presidential election, Ice Cube, rapper, producer, actor, came up with what he calls the contract with Black America. Remember that? Big old plan to directly address the ills plaguing the black community in America. He went to Donald Trump with it. Donald Trump said, dude, this is good stuff. We can make this happen. He went to the Democrats. What did the Democrats tell Ice Cube? Get back with us after the election. We'll see what we can do. So sure enough, Ice Cube, after Joe Biden, wink, wink, won the election, wink, wink, wink. Yeah, something in your eye, yeah. Ice Cube gets back with the White House. And after talking with the folks at the White House, he issued a statement saying, we spoke with the White House and we're hoping that they were receptive to the idea, and we're hoping by the end of the month that we will have a concrete date and location for us to meet. We need a date and a location because, Ice Cube, I want to bring in the experts that helped me to craft this contract with Black America so we can discuss it and get this thing moving. We're hoping by the end of the month to have a date and a time. Oh, did I mention? That was 8 freaking months ago. Ice Cube issued a statement. Oh, we talked to the White House, and by the end of the month, we're going to have pegged this thing down. English teachers, parents with kids in the room, forgive me in 3, 2, 1. It's been 8 months. Ain't no damn meeting happened yet. Meanwhile, how many hundreds of millions of dollars, just for you, Marty, millions of dollars, has this administration spent on helping Haitians come here illegally? How much money has the Biden-Harris administration spent on helping Latino folks come across the border illegally? How much money have they spent on folks that they didn't vet from Afghanistan coming into this country? And it's 8 months and running, and you still hadn't heard a peep. Of course, now, you could conceivably make the argument that it's taken so long to hear back from the White House because they've been too busy screwing up the economy as we restart after COVID. They've been too busy screwing up the border situation, the worst it's been in 30 years. They ain't got time to get back and help black folk. They've been too busy screwing up the border. They've been too busy allowing crime to get out of control, mostly in black neighborhoods. They've been too busy screwing up the withdrawal in Afghanistan. They've been too busy screwing stuff up in this country to even get back with Ice Cube about helping black folk. Now, on any given day, it would be what it is. But it should say something to you, my fellow brothers and sisters. It should say something to you that the folks that are the most loyal part of the Democrat Party have been pushed, I would say, to the back of the line. You're not even in the line. I would say you've been pushed to the back of the bus, but they got you on Uber now. You're not even on the bus. Does that not tell you something? And yet, a lot of y'all gonna still vote Democrat anyway. See, that's why they don't have to do anything for you. Democrats, liberals, progressives are of the opinion now, why should we do anything for black people? They gonna vote for us anyway. We can take this money that should have been used to benefit the people that put your sorry behind in the White House, wink, wink, Dominion. We can take that money and make some political hay with other groups. Yeah, but shouldn't we help black people? I mean, they are the most loyal people in our party. We don't need to do nothing for them. They're going to vote for us anyway. At some point, it's going to sink in for you. At some point, you're going to stop worshiping at the altar of CNN, LOL, MS-LSD, NBC, ABC, CBS. At some point, hopefully a whole lot sooner than later, you're going to figure it out. In the meantime, you and Ice Cube keep waiting on that call back from the White House so we can sit down and talk about fixing the problems that are plaguing black America. I'm not a betting man, but I'll take odds on this. It ain't gonna be no time soon. Sorry, English teachers, I didn't give y'all the heads up on that one. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with MANDA Fine Meats. Here at MANDA, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. MANDA Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. MANDA Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it MANDA every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, growing up in a military household and having instilled in me early in my life love of God and country and respect for the rule of law, it has been particularly painful with the advent of this new administration to watch them flaunt the laws of this country, to rule by decree, completely ignoring the legislative process, and completely ignoring what is best for this country. There was a whole lot of consternation recently over the 15,000 Haitian immigrants entering this country at our southern border. And you well know, I'm sure by now, how they magically, y'all didn't know Joe Biden was a magician, did you? Magically, overnight, all these folks just magically went away. Disappeared. What they did not tell you, and we still don't know, is where these folks were shipped out to across our country. Now, before you get upset about these 15,000 people, you do realize they're just getting started, y'all. You do realize what is coming just around the corner. Officials in Mexico this weekend voicing concern that 125,000 Haitian migrants are expected to be in their country by the end of 2021, with the overwhelming majority of them having plans to enter this country. Now, this 125,000 that the government of Mexico is concerned about, because obviously they don't have the resources to deal with this. These are only the ones that have notified the Mexican government. So conventional wisdom says if 125,000 have reported to the government, think how many haven't. Some are estimating that by the end of this year, we're talking 300,000 to 400,000 illegal Haitian immigrants are going to be flooding across our border. Now, what I call the BPE factor, the acronym for based on past experience, what do you think our government is going to do with these folks? Wasn't long ago, right here in the capital city, we awakened to find bus loads of illegal immigrants dropped the frick off in our communities, no notice, no resources, no nothing. The unmitigated gall of these people to not call the mayor, not call the governor, just drop them off. And of course, not long ago, 15,000 just magically disappeared. Is this what you voted for? To add insult to injury, as if that weren't bad enough. Anthony Fauci comes up this past week and gets indignant with reporters who questioned Dr. Fauci. All these folks entering the country illegally, do you think that's driving in any way, shape, or form the surge we've seen in COVID-19 cases? You know what this clown said? Well, that has nothing to do with anything. How the hell would you know, because you didn't test a freaking one of them? You didn't test them, and you sure as you know what, didn't give them the shot. How the hell would you know? You know, it's one thing for you to be stupid. It is something else entirely for you to think I'm as stupid as you think I am. I could respect the guy if he said, well, you know, we didn't test them, so it might be premature to point the finger of blame at them. We just don't know. He comes out in no uncertain terms and says, oh no, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And you wonder why people don't trust you at all? Listen, Dr. Fauci, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and all those of their ilk. We don't have a damn thing to talk about till you start doing your job. All these folk you letting in here, shipping out God knows where, don't test them, don't vaccinate them until you get off your you know what and do your job. I don't want to hear a freaking thing you got to say. End of discussion. The American people deserve better. And I don't care if you are Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, whatever you are. This has got to be disturbing to you. I understand the partisan nature of politics in the country that I love so dearly. I get it. We have allowed the media and the politicians to put us at one another's throats. So much so that we've lost all common sense and no longer possess the ability to see things as they are. But at the end of the day, if you're a Democrat or a Republican and you're concerned about COVID, you've got to be concerned about the number of people they are shipping across our border, untested, unvaccinated, to God knows where. At the end of the day, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, if you've been to the grocery store lately, you've got to be concerned with the rampant inflation and what these yahoos in Washington, D.C. are attempting to spend trillions of dollars more. If you care at all, not just about this country, which should be first and foremost, but about your own well-being, you better start paying attention to what the hell is going on. Because typically what happens is, when you're asleep at the wheel, by the time you wake up, it's too late, hoss. It's a done deal. And the fact of the matter is, y'all, too many have given too much for us to allow this to come to an end on our watch. Some of y'all not going to get that till later, but that's okay, as long as at some point you get it. My time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But once again, this day, maybe more so than any other in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.